Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Jenny. I'm from jennycarddesigns. Thanks so much for joining me today. My YouTube channel contains content that is intended to share paper crafting tutorials and inspiration with all of you. I hope that you enjoy. In today's video, I'm going to share a fun birthday card note card set using a variety of colored card bases. In yesterday's video, I had cut up some card bases, and these are the remaining 4 that I had left over, and I wanted to create a card project with those colorful cardstocks. So I've got this pattern paper pack from jennycarddesigns, and it's called Birthday Hoot. It's just got the cutest little owls all decked out in their party supplies. And I just want to flip through this paper pad and grab a couple of those patterns that I think will coordinate with the colors of my cardstock. So I picked out 2 patterns, and I'm going to set the rest of the paper aside, and I'm going to trim these pieces down. So I'm going to get 2 cards out of each piece of cardstock. So I'm going to trim this down to 4 1/4 inches, and then that little small strip that's left over, I'm going to cut that in half. So the measurement for this is like 7/8 of an inch. It's not quite an inch, just a little less. So I'm going to set those pieces aside. I'm going to use those little strips to decorate the envelopes. And then I'm going to take this larger piece, and across the 6-inch side here, I'm going to cut it at 3 inches. And I'll do that to both of my panels. And that will give me 4 panels that measure 3 by 4 1/4. And then 4 strips that are just less than 1 inch. So I'm just going to grab my scissors and trim up any excess little bits here because my paper trimmer blade was a little dull. Alright, so next I'm going to use the jennycarddesigns Master Layouts die set 4. And I'm going to use this beautiful scalloped border frame die and a little banner die. And I'm going to cut these out with some white cardstock. And I've got that little flag banner, and I'm going to cut it out of the center of the white piece of cardstock because I'm going to cover this piece up with the pattern paper, and you won't see that I took this little piece out of the center. So it just helps me stretch my cardstock, and I don't have to cut up extra pieces. All right, so I'm going to run this through my die cutting machine, and I'll do that 4 times, and I'll have 4 panels with this beautiful stitched scallop border and that little flag banner die from that Master Layouts die set. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to use those little owl pattern paper to cover up that center. And then you won't even notice that I cut from there. So I'm going to go ahead and start adhering things together. I also cut out 4 additional scalloped panels to put on the inside of my card. So I'm just going to grab my trimmer and clean these up a little bit. I need to change the blade on my Cricut trimmer. And a lot of times people ask me about this trimmer. It's my favorite. I really like this one because the replacement blades they're really inexpensive, and it's really quick and easy to replace the blade when it starts to get dull. And I like the precision that I get when using this cutting my cardstock. So you just pop off the little handle there and then toss out the old piece. And then I'll place the new piece with the blade side down in the little track there. And then I'll close the little ruler guide and make sure that it comes through that little hole and just pop on that little slider, and it just attaches like a piece of a puzzle. And then I'll just press it all in, make sure it's nice and tight, and that's it. So very quickly I can replace the blade on this trimmer for just a couple of bucks and keep it nice and sharp. So I'm just going to clean up some of those edges on my cardstocks to make sure that everything is nice and neat and I don't have a mess on the edges of my pattern papers. So once that's done, I'm going to start adhering these together. So I've got my tape runner here, and I'm just going to apply some adhesive to the back of these patterns and glue them down to the little scallop, covering up that missing banner in the center. And I'll do that to all of my cards. And then I'm going to get these adhered to the front of my cardstock panel. So for the pink and orange card base, I'm going to use this sort of orange background. And then for the blue and green card base, I'm going to use the pattern with a light blue background. I'm just trying to coordinate the colors as best as I can so that this way, if you need a card for a boy or a girl, then you'll be able to have the option to flip through this little set of cards and have the right card for the right person. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is stamp the little flag banners. I have a stamp set from jennycarddesigns that is a go-to staple in my craft room. This is the birthday greetings, and I've used this set about 1,000 times, and it just got the absolute perfect birthday greetings for inside and outside of your cards. So I've got a little piece of Post-it tape here, and I'm just kind of adhering it to my desk surface and then leaving some of that sticky up so that I can line up my little banners. I'm going to stamp my greeting with an acrylic block, and I just wanted to make sure that these were all lined up nice and straight so that I'd be able to stamp with ease. So I'm going to grab my Sure Shot ink. This is a VersaFine Onyx Black ink, and I'm going to stamp "It's Your Birthday" right on the center of that little banner. I call it a Sure Shot ink because this ink never lets me down. It always gives me the best stamped impression every single time. And perfect. I love the way that looks. So I'm going to do that to all 4 of my banners. And then I'm going to go ahead and stamp the inside of my card base. I had those little white scallop panels that I cut out earlier that are going to be adhered to the inside of my cards. And this inside sentiment also comes from that birthday greeting stamp set. So I'm going to stamp all 4 of those panels with the same greeting, and then I'm going to grab my dot liner and I'm going to adhere these panels to the inside of my card bases. I think this just gives that card a beautiful finished touch, and the last thing that we have to do is pop on the sentiment on the front of this card. So I've got a couple of foam squares that I've cut in half, and I'm going to pop the little sentiment that says "It's Your Birthday." I'm going to pop it up on some foam tape and put it on the front of the card. And I'm just kind of moving them around. I'm not going to make them all identical. It just depends on the pattern, and I don't want to cover up any of the little owls' faces, so I want to make sure that those are all visible. All right, and these cards are complete. Here's a look at the 4 finished cards. These are so cute, quick, and easy. I'm going to package these up for sale. So when I sell my handmade cards, from experience, I noticed that cards sell a lot better when you have a greeting stamped on the inside, and then people can see what it is. One of the things that I ensure to do with my handmade cards is put them in a cellophane packaging. So what I've done is I've turned one of these cards inside out, and I've also adhered those strips down to the bottom of my envelopes just to kind of tie everything in together. And then I've stuck those in between the cards, and then I have that one card that's turned inside out so that you can see on the back what that says. So then if somebody's interested in purchasing my cards, then they can look at the back, see what the cards say, and because it's a set, they all say the same thing. We just have a variety of colors. So I adhere my little cellophane baggie shut, but I leave a little bit of a gap at the top because I want to attach a little like packaging strip to it. So I'm going to go back to that paper pad and grab a piece that measures 5.5 by 3, and then I'll just score it in half at 1.5 inches, and I'll fold it over the top of my card and staple it shut. And then we have a beautiful handmade greeting card set that's ready to give as a gift or sell at craft fairs, and it's got a perfect and elegant touch. So here are the cards that I made in my previous video. I've done the same thing and stamped greetings on the inside of those and packaged those up. So both of these sets are on my website for sale. There is only one of each of these, so if you're interested in purchasing any of my handmade cards, you can find them linked in the description box down below at www.jennycards.ca. So that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to spend it here with me. I appreciate the support as always. All of the products that I've used in today's video will be linked in the description box down below. Please consider shopping using my affiliate links. It helps to support my channel. Coming up on screen are a couple of videos I think you may enjoy. Have yourself a lovely day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!